Good morning, Steve Freed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, geopolitical headlines seems to dominate the trade today, with the Speaker of the House flying into Taiwan despite concerns about Chinese reaction. This has soybeans and corn lower, crude oil lower, a lot of commodities lower if China-U.S. relations deteriorate and they reduce imports, especially of U.S. Soybeans. We also noted that the crop ratings, corn 61% good to excellent. That's unchanged from last week, but not down the 1 percentage points that people thought. And behind me is a typical corn crop in north central Illinois that's pollinating with good color, good plant population, and potential for pretty high yields. Soybean, 60% good to excellent. The trade was thinking 58. Last week was 59. Spring wheat, 70% good to excellent. The trade was thinking 67 versus last week 68. And we've got 82% of the winter wheat crop harvested. The weather doesn't change. It looks like the western corn belt will be dry and warm for the next couple of weeks, while the northern and eastern areas will be normal. Some flooding noted in parts of the Ohio River Valley, especially Kentucky. U.S. soybean exports continue to be 8% behind a year ago, and we'll just kind of see what happens as far as the outside markets and the impact that might have on soybean prices. China's hog profits are the highest in 17 months, so they probably need some soybeans down the road, especially after September, but we'll just have to see what happens today geopolitically. The corn exports are running 17% behind last year. Again, some people feel that once Brazil is done shipping their corn, we will pick up demand, and some people are looking for a little bit higher export number than what the USDA is saying. The French dropped their corn crop, and some people questioning their 68 million ton crop estimate. Most people are around 54. Again, we're seeing a vessel leaving Ukraine of corn. Quality was not good, and we'll have to see how much of the 20 vessels that were sitting there since the beginning of the war will be shipped out. But there is talk about empty boats coming in, loading for grain and sending out, which is offering resistance to the corn and wheat market. Many people question, though, the number the USDA is using as far as 40 million tons of Russian wheat exports. And the U.S. and the EU wheat S&D is probably too low as far as demand is concerned, and too high as far as potential supply and quality of that supply. We did note that Brazil July soybean exports were 7.2 million tons versus 8.5 last year. To date, they're probably shipping 68.5 million tons of beans versus 69.5 last year. One Crop Scout is using a corn yield of 174 with about 44% of the acres above trend yield. They're using a 50.5 bean yield with about 54% of the crop near trend. So we'll watch what happens in Taiwan, and we'll see how that affects prices.